And she's doing pretty. That was a very good cast. And she's waiting out there on her own without my help. She's learning to let the fly go through the drift. We must pass on to the next generation our appreciation for the wild. And Natasha, who has grown up in Southern California, very good Natasha, who never has been out in the wild with rocks, absolutely loves it. But only would we appreciate the wild when we keep it wild. We keep places like this extraordinary, and everybody talks about fishermen potentially harming fish. I don't believe fish feel any pain, but even if they feel any pain, they would have been dead and long distinct, and all of this would have been clear cut right to the edge of the rivers if the fishermen hadn't tried to protect the fish and the water. So the fly fishermen are the ones that protect this. Very good, Natasha. Hopefully the next time you see the video, we'll have Natasha on with a fish on. Here. Natasha has cast on her own and hooked her first steelhead on her own. Everything on her own. She's fighting him very well.
Walking around on my own.
No, you just keep coming in a little bit more. You just keep the rod tip down towards the water a little bit. Okay. And if he runs, you let him run. Okay. Let go the handle if he runs. And you just palm the reel. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Brand new fisherman. First time fly fishing and fly casting. She's got her first steelhead on completely on her own. She's lost two before that I hooked. But this one, she made all the casts on her own, waited all on her own, and hooked the fish on her own. Okay, now Natasha, you just stand right there. Now you wind him in a little and you keep the rod tip down. And you keep the rod tip pointed down river, but if he runs, you let him run a little bit. Rod tip down. Rod tip a little closer to the water. There you go. Can you wind or not? No, he's strong. Good fish. It's a big fish.
Yeah, it is pretty big.
Good for you. Beauty.
You just keep pressure on him, Natasha.
We got two others to bite before, so they didn't hit hot.
Grind in a little bit of line. Not too hard. You're doing just right. Keep the rod tip a little lower to the water if you can.
Okay.
Yeah. He's pretty strong, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're doing just right. Is he running on you?
Running.
All right. You need to walk down a little on him, Natasha, so he's not too far downstream.
Yeah, he's still got some fight in him.
Yeah, you let him run. Keep the rod tip down and come downstream on him. When he's coming down like that, keep coming downstream. Rod tip down. Wind in. Wind in a little. Rod tip down. Rod tip down. Rod tip down. Very good fish. Rod tip. Okay, now stop right there. Wind him in if you can. Keep him coming. Especially when he's coming, you got him whipped, but keep him coming. Keep tight line. Keep coming. Rod tip down just a little. There you did. Rod tip down just a little. Rod tip down just a little. And don't wind any more line in. Don't wind any more line in. Just keep the line tight and put the pole more toward. Oh! Very close, but not quite. Here we are on Monday, September 24th, 2003. And we are with the future of fly fishing. Natasha Brookins, her third day of fishing in her life. And she's casting very well. This is the essence of the sport. It must be passed on generation to generation, and it's better the more women we get involved in the sport. So we don't call it a redneck sport. And also it's better that women get to enjoy the outdoors and the wilderness and help us save it. And support men and support their kids when they take them out. But Natasha has improved dramatically. Yesterday she fly caught, hooked, fought, and then lost her first steelhead ever. It's just incredible. And she loves it out here. She is a good kid. She's going back to school today. This is her last day of fishing. For 3 days of fishing, she's lost 2 fish that I hooked, very big fish, and she lost one that she had all by herself. But this is the essence of Mayhunt. The bonding of just you plus one. Natasha and I, as my new daughter is of 3 years, the grand niece of my wife, we have never had more time to talk to each other about the important things in life. Not just the outdoors, but of growing up and all of the travails of being a young woman and figuring out what's right in life. And I am impressed with this young woman. She is very smart and very savvy, and she thinks about things. She's very mature for her 20 years. We have had a great week, but I just want to show you how, and it's very important to her. She wouldn't wade above her knees, and now look at her. She's wading up to almost her waist because she got confidence. And before I would help her wade, but now she does it on her own. This is how you build confidence in young people. Preserving land for you plus one. The experience is for you and one other. Hopefully it's a special other. Maybe it's related to you, maybe it's not. But that's the only way to share the outdoors, to really appreciate it, is alone or with just one other. Not a group, but just one other. So you enjoy the closeness. And you can pass on the appreciation for things. And you can learn to grow together. Natasha Brookins has become an expert. I had to duck the cast. All right, smile at the camera. Yay! Standing up to her waist in the water, we could barely get her to her knees. This is called confidence building. And growing together, and learning new things, and cherishing the outdoors, and making good casts. Bravo, Natasha. You plus one. Natasha and I have grown a great deal together in these 3 days. They've been very, very special. What life is all about. We have Natasha into a nice fish here at Christmas Tree. She's been fighting it for probably 5-6 minutes. And we haven't gotten it close enough for the net yet. And it's a strong fish. It's jumped once completely out of the water. You're doing just right, Natasha. You keep him coming. Keep the rod low. Keep winding and rod low. Don't pull too hard when he's there. You're doing just right. Keep the rod tip low. Strong fish, Natasha. And you were good. You let him run just right.
And you, even if he gets him in the net, you don't let up on the line yet till I tell you. All right. Rod tip low when they come up to the surface like that. You got him coming. You're doing well. Okay. Okay, don't. Okay. Good. Keep the rod tip in. What? Whoa! It's a good fish. Good big fish, Natasha. You're doing just right. Okay, rod tip low. Rod tip low. Okay, rod tip low. You saw the net. It's alright, rod tip low. You did that just right, Natasha. You let him run. Hey, Natasha! Hey, Natasha! Let's see a smile. Come here, look at it. Hey! Your first steelhead. Your first steelhead. Awesome. We'll take a couple pictures. We'll get him a little on a video. I'm gonna shut this off. Bravo! We're running the video. There you go.
You can hear.
There you go.
Ready?
Natasha's first steelhead. All right, bravo on Christmas tree, September 23rd, 2003. Now let it go in the water. Well, we got to unhook it. Put it back in the water, Natasha. Put it back in the water.
Back in the water to leave?
Yeah, no, yep. Now let her go. Just put her down in the water.
Down and just hold on to
Just hold on to the tail. Just hold her upright.
Like what we want to let her go?
Upstream. Hold her.
And we're gonna hold her until she's ready.
And she'll run right out of your hand. Let her go. Hey, Natasha. Your first caught and released steelhead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It is Monday, September 22nd, 2003, and Natasha has just left the Sustut River to head to Minaret Field to fly back to Smithers after a very successful U+1 fishing trip. Myself and Natasha. The way to spend your fishing trip is either alone in solitude or with someone you love very dearly who you want to share the outdoors with. And I'm showing you a snow-capped mountain looking out from camp, and with clouds sort of whisking at it. And Natasha was a little concerned about the flight back and a small plane, and I told her it would be the most exciting, fun plane ride of her life, and she had a good time. Look at the gorgeous view of the mountain and the sun after 3 days of rain, actually 4 days of rain and snow. The water temperature is a little 42 degrees. We need 43 or 44 to really get into the big fish. In the past, 44 is a critical temperature to get a big fish. But Natasha, in 3 days, had 2 fish on and lost them that I hooked. And she lost a steelhead that she waded to herself, cast to herself, hooked herself, and fought for a long time and lost her at the very end. And today she caught her first steelhead. I hooked it, but she caught it after a long fight. So, I mean, that is the way to introduce young people to the wild outdoors. Show them the way, teach them in a gentle, loving way, and share with them as a model. Do what you want them to do. Don't be hypocritical. Do exactly the same. But U+1, as in Mayhunt's preserving land for U+1, is the right way. This wouldn't have been good if I would have shared it with 2 children. There would all have been something going on. This way it was just 1-on-1 and they had their full attention. So, to Mayhunt and to the mountains wreathed in snow.